Welcome back, Ting Ming.
Hi, thank you so much, Michael. It's always a joy, a pleasure to be with you and your audience. Yeah. So today's topic is actually about getting clear on 2016. We're now in December, right? So I want you to actually claim the power of questions. What I feel is, I don't know if you know this, but I'm not born in the United States. I'm actually from Malaysia, and I came to the United States when I was here for college and for grad school, and stayed after that because my husband is a United States citizen. So what I wanted to say was, when I came here, I guess I found myself in a land of boxes, right? Why do I say that? Land of boxes. Well, actually, anywhere in the world, I think when we are in human society, we are in a land of boxes because we feel like we're boxed in by definitions and perspectives and understandings of ourselves by others. And sometimes we are in prisons of our own making because we're held hostage by our own fear of our thoughts, fearful feelings, and fearful beliefs about ourselves and what we are in the world. So I actually invite you to use this power of questions to actually punch a hole in the boxes to see what is out there beyond people's definition of you or even your definition of who you are. This philosopher, Alan Bloom, says, the freedom of the mind requires not only, or not even especially, the absence of legal constraints, but the presence of alternative thoughts. He goes on to say that the most successful tyranny is not the one that uses force to assure uniformity, but the one that removes awareness of other possibilities. So today I would like you to entertain other possibilities through questions. Let us cut open a window in our boxes, break down a door, and see what is beyond the boxes. Or if we're comfortable with the idea of boxes, let's find others to build a better box with. Okay? So, Michael, does that kind of sound like a cool thing to do?
Yeah, very cool. I love it.
Okay, so, all right. So I want to share with you a box that I was in, very recently. See, I put myself in this box of, like, I'm a caring, kind, like, model, perfect parent, all right? I have 3 kids, 18-year-old, 16-year-old boy, and 12-year-old girl. So yesterday, my daughter refused to get out of her bed because she did not want to play with her violin band at a fairy party gig. So it's a party for like 5-year-olds, and the theme is fairies, right? So she and her bandmates, they have a violin band, so they play violin together. They play in harmony. So they were supposed to go in costumes, fairy costumes, girly girl costumes with feathers in the hair and face paint and wings and all that. And my daughter had said to her bandmates that she was not interested in those kind of costumes. She was definitely not into the wings or the flowery stuff, not a girly girl. But they actually just kind of ignored her and did not really, take into account what she said, even though she expressed herself very clearly. So my daughter's response was like, well, okay, I'm just not going to go. I'm just not going to go because it doesn't reflect who I am and what I feel and what I am here to bring to the world. So, and for me, that came, to me as like a mixed reaction. I'm like, oh my God, what will the other parents think of me? Right? I'm like, okay, there we go. The box of being a perfect parent, like whose kids mind her, right? Like mind my words, like listen to me, right? well, okay, well, I'm like, do I really want to be in this box? Do I want to support who my child really is? Right? Am I willing to let go of the box? And so that's what I did. I just like, okay, if you don't want to do this, that is fine, and we'll call and we'll say why it is, why she is not going, right? But there are other things like, oh well, I got a little, I guess a little afraid of like, well, what does this mean to let down other people and stuff like that? So these things are all swirling in my head. And then I asked my divine team about this. And it's like the message I got was to just go with the flow and to trust. And so I apologized to the other parents, and I explained to them that she could not, my daughter could not compromise. She could not. And I'm not going to make her. And so that's how it stands, right? Sometimes we have to have the courage to stand for what we believe in, to get out of those boxes, even though people may say not very nice things about you, or blame you, or own fear, or their own perceived notions of what is right. You have to stand for what you believe in. So my daughter showed me what I've actually been coaching my clients to do, to stand up for themselves, to be who they truly are. And she reminded me. So I got schooled by a 12-year-old, right, on being authentic. So I want to kind of share with you different ways to ask yourself questions. For example, maybe we could ask, what else is possible when faced with a situation where we think there are no other alternatives? Like, then we ask ourselves, what else is possible? When we do that, we not only are engaging our own powers of, creativity, we are also asking the universe to show us the answers, harnessing the co-creative power of the universe. What else is possible? Because there are infinite possibilities if only we choose to know that, to act on that, to act from that. Another thing I would like to ask is, how does it get any better than this? Now sounds really funny, right? How does it get any better than this? But notice the tone with which I ask the question. It's more of like a sense of playfulness, of curiosity, of like anticipation. So I'm asking the universe to show me, how does it get any better than this? And I do that, like when I'm sitting in traffic. And, in Los Angeles, we're notorious for, like, parking lot traffic, right? The freeways are like parking lots, right? Sometimes.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm there, and I'm seeing, okay, we're stuck here. I don't know why, but I'm just going to ask and say this, how does it get any better than this? And I say this for, 6 times or so sometimes. And then I notice, hey, I'm actually moving. I'm able to move. It's flowing. And it works. It works every time I do that. So you might want to try that. Okay. I was participating in an online community exercise just last week, and we were asked to come up with a question, right? Let's say the scenario was like, a wealthy uncle left you with an inheritance, But you can only claim it if you devote your full 100% energy to, finding or to devoting yourself to this question for the whole year. So, and if you, even if for 1 minute you didn't devote yourself to the question, your inheritance will go to some irritating cousin or something like that. So I'm like, wow, okay, that's kind of cool. Like, how would I live in this question for a year? So my questions to myself would be, how, and not how, actually. I started it with why. Why? Isn't that curious to start a question with why? I sound like a 2-year-old, right? Why? Okay, my question to myself was, why am I so abundantly blessed? Why am I so abundantly blessed? So when you break down a question, you see, why am I so abundantly blessed? Makes the assumption that I am abundantly blessed, right? So what I'm doing there is actually asking the universe to show me why I'm so abundantly blessed. So living in the questions means that my part of it is to see everything or everyone as a blessing, to find the gift in every situation, in everyone. And I wrote in my post for that, that my first challenge on living in the question came when I found out that somebody had scratched my car with their car. Like there was a huge bump on the rear side of my van, like a side rear left side of my van. And I didn't even notice that. So just discovering that came with like shock and trauma, even cellular trauma. But the thing is, after that initial wave of emotions and like, wow, why is it not fair? Why is this unfair thing happening to me? Why did I do to deserve it? And I remembered, oh my God, I just wrote something about why am I so abundantly blessed? So what is the blessing in this? What is the blessing in this? So I just kind of like sat down, got quiet, and reached into myself and asked myself, well, okay, this brought up a lot of emotions around, like, things that are unfair happening to me, blah, 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 this and that, waiting for the other shoe to drop, or things are going well, and then suddenly something bad happens, all this type of stuff, right? These are like patterns, right? So what I did was, like, I recognized those patterns, and I cleared them, because I use... I am trained to clear subconscious beliefs using entrainment in theta waves, so I do it for myself a lot. So when I notice I'm running a pattern, I just clear it very fast, within seconds. So I did that. So the blessing was that I was able to recognize the patterns that came up when triggered by such a situation, and then I was able to clear those patterns. So not only did I clear the shock trauma, cellular trauma from this particular incident, but also any other incident that happened before like that, and also the possibility of any future incidents that are like that would be attracted if I had just left those patterns in there running in me, right? So I cleared those. So that is the gift. That is the gift. That is the blessing. So I would like you to use the power of questions, to claim the power of questions, right? To see a more beautiful life for yourself, to really get clear on 2016. What will it be? With questions, you are tapping on the power of curiosity. You are finding compassion for yourself and the courage to break free from what you've always known before, the courage to go into the unknown, and the clarity about yourself, of who you truly are. So, Michael, if you were to live in a question, one single question for 2016, what would that be?
So are we framing these in questions and things that we hold back from or in fear of? Is that what we're looking at?
Here's the thing. For me, when we focus on something, it grows. If we focus on something that is fear-based, it will grow. So I choose to focus on love-based thoughts. So for me, I'm usually doing this. Like, why am I so abundantly blessed, right? That's a positive affirmation. Why am I? So if you were to, see 2016 ahead of you, and you want that to be a certain theme, you want more joy, more vitality, vibrant health, how would you frame that question so that you would draw it to you through the power of the universe and through your own powers of co-creation? So if you start, you can start with, why am I so? I know. What do you envision for yourself? What would you like 2016 to be?
I would like 2016 to be to see a growth, a change in Journey into the Light program, to see it reach out to more people in the world. That's what I would like to see.
So you could say, why am I so successful at, growing and spreading the influence, impact, and reach of Journey into the Light throughout the global community? That could be an example of a question.
Yeah.
How would your version be? Because it's most powerful when you come up with your own questions.
Before you said that, I was thinking, why am I, so blessed to have such a beautiful, large program that helps people worldwide? That would be my question.
Yeah. That's a great question, right? Yeah.
Right.
So write that down. Put it where you can see it all the time. There's nothing like visual cues. I actually wrote my question, on a big piece of paper and posted it on my Facebook page. I also have it here in my physical space, because when I work with my clients, I ask them always to create a visual cue for themselves, to remind them of the state they want to be in, or to remind them of their authentic selves, who they truly want to be. And so I have a client who just ordered a lamp, a special kind of lamp, and that's going to remind her of who she wants to be. And another client who has white orchids because they symbolize beauty and purity and, connection with her true self. So, it doesn't have to be just writing on a piece of paper. It can be something that is an object, I want to move on to a type of question that I ask that is for clearing and making space for miracles. Would you like to know what type of question that is?
Yeah, we got a couple minutes. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so it would be this, right? What would it take? What would it take to make Journey into Light the best and most impactful spiritual show on the Blog Talk radio circuit? And then anything and everything that stands in the way of that, I delete, destory, uncreate across all time, space, dimensions, and realities. The form of making space for miracles. So you ask the question, what would it take to whatever it is, and then everything and anything that stands in the way of that, that's part two, right? part one is the question. Part two is everything and anything that stands in the way of that ideal lead, de-story, uncreate, transmute across all time, space, dimensions, and reality. You're sending that intention of just dissolving all obstacles and making space for the miracles. Right? Clearing the obstacles, making space for the miracles. Whoa, it rhymes.
That works beautifully. It's I know we're coming to the end of the program, but I love what you're saying because it lets people free them up to be who they are supposed to be, and as I always say on my promotions, speak your truth, and that's what you're saying also. Be your authentic self, and don't let things or people get in the way. And so T. Ming, how can people reach you to have a private session with you? What's the best ways?
My appointment schedule is online, and I have clients sessions via Skype or Zoom. So they can go to www.visita.com. Visita is spelled V like Victor, C like communication, I like integrity, T like transformation, and A like awareness. Then .com, and then /V for vitality, and then /T-Ming. So my name is spelled T-Ming, like teaming with life, T-E-E-M-I-N-G, one word, T-Ming. So go over there and click on the scheduling button.
All right. Well, great. We've got less than a minute here. I need to wrap up so we can get this in a show and we can rebroadcast it. So, T. Ming, thank you so much. Another great show, another great amount of wealth to help people. I love what you do. I really do. And so I look forward to your next show next Monday.
All right. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, everyone, for listening. And go claim the power of questions.
Yes. Okay, T. Ming. All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Hey, bye.
All righty. That's T. Ming, who's here every Monday.